We're going to start with episode 1. That's Chef Tyler Vorce, one of my best friends. I met him in 2007 at Johnson & Wales University in Providence, Rhode Island. He is now the COO and co-founder of Truffle Shuffle SF, who is the sole sponsor of the podcast at the moment. He is also one of the greatest chefs I've ever met in my life, and it's so cool to watch him pivot into a business like Truffle Shuffle. Begin it by selling truffles, realizing that there's a market cap within that business, pivoting because of pandemic to virtual cooking classes, and later that year winning Shark Tank, and just really taking this company to the next level within 2 years of it being open. So shout out to him and Jason McKinney, who is the CEO of that company. Again, they are the sponsors of Sucio Talk, so I'm really happy that they got on board with my vision, and they've really been supporting me since day one. So I couldn't be more happy to be able to reissue these episodes. The reason for the reissue is because we went to video. Making the podcast go to video was something that I always saw in the future, but just as anything we do in life, I like a slow, gradual climb to success. Why? Because it allows you to really hone in and focus and create a vision to what you're trying to achieve. And, I've always said Sucio Talk is a platform where chefs and hospitality professionals can come in, enjoy a safe space to be able to express their thoughts, feelings, emotions on the industry. As we all know, this is a very tough industry. It's a very hard industry. And to be in the echelon of fine dining was sort of the goal for years. Whereas now, with all the abuse that went on in fine dining, what's happening is we are overcorrecting to the point where we are trying to cancel everything. And this is very muddy water, very dangerous to be trying to do to restaurants because, again, we're going to erase legacy. Am I condoning bad behavior, abuse in restaurants? Hell no. I'm here to put a stop to that, and we're going to do that through conversation, right? Through identifying the problems and then fixing those problems. I was just talking to Jordan, and we talked about the fact that there's a lot of talking, a lot of debate, but there's never enough action. So something I wake up every day and ask myself is, how can I positively influence this generation of chefs, cooks, hospitality professionals to look past the tough times that come with running such a hard business and know that at the end of the tunnel there is a beautiful side of things that we can live in, and we can make it the norm. What's happened is for so long we've abused people to the point where they've left the business, which again contributes to the 5 to 10 years of legacy that we are going to see a gap in. I think about how many great chefs, cooks, and really any other field could be if we didn't drive them away through old school methods of learning, coaching. I will say, though, when you look at famous sports teams, LeBron James, Michael Jordan, the greats, what happens is they have to have a certain level of harsh discipline in order to be able to get to that next step, right? Being great is very hard. If everybody could be great, everybody would do it, right? That saying still holds true to this day. So how do we get to be a Michael Jordan without the physical, mental abuse that you go through in restaurants? That is truly the question. Do I have an answer? Not at all. But together, I feel like we can come up with a solution, better put ourselves into a place where we can excel at what we're trying to achieve in this industry, which is feed people great meals, build memories, right? And be sort of that safe place where people can come, enjoy food, enjoy drink with their family and friends, and have something to talk about for the rest of their lives. Olfactory, it's all in here. memories associated to scents, associated to tastes, right? How cool is that we get to play a part in that? That people on their deathbed remember meals from certain restaurants or certain experiences they had with food, wine, beverage, whatever it may be. I think that is too beautiful to cancel. And just because there's a few bad eggs happening within our chef circle, I really don't think that we should turn around and cancel fine dining. Fine dining is the reason why most of us are here. Even though you like that casual food, it's the upper echelon of what you can do as a chef, right? It's the Yankees. It's the Chicago Bulls in the 90s. It is the top of the crop, right? So my sort of ethos on the whole thing is there's no solution in sight. There's no right or wrong way to sort of fix the problem. The first thing we need to do is address the problems. And for the longest time, it's been an industry where people did not hold people accountable. People accepted bad behavior. I myself thought it was okay to yell at people in their face. That is not good behavior. And, when you're taught that, that's all you know. So then the generational sort of depression keeps happening and mounting because all we're doing is building upon bad behavior that was taught to us. Well, I'm here to break that chain. I'm here to tell you that we don't have to be that way to succeed. All right, so here we are. First episode of Sucio Talk.
Oh.
With my first guest, the illustrious Tyler Vorce.
My God.
Who is now the, what are you at Truffle Shuffle?
Co-founder.
The co-founder
Yes.
of Truffle Shuffle. One of the up-and-coming companies in our world today. Mm-hmm. That was a Pacifico on a glass table. That's a bad idea. All right, so cheers.
Cheers, sure.
Okay. So Tyler, we're going to start from the beginning.
Oh, shit.
Little man Tyler, born in...
Oh, my God. I guess, shit, I was born in New Hampshire.
New Hampshire?
Yeah.
This whole fucking time I thought you were born in Maine.
Man, I keep that on the down low. I was fucking...
All right.
I hear you.
That's fine.
But, raised in Maine, rather.
All right.
Born in fucking New Hampshire, raised in Maine.
Very cool.
Yep.
What town we talking about?
I don't know.
Kennebunkport?
Oh, yeah, Kennebunk.
Kennebunk, Maine?
Not Kennebunkport, but Kennebunk, yep.
All right.
Born in the 80s, late 80s, 1989, in February.
That was a good year.
Fucking great.
That's my vintage.
I know.
You know what I mean? I'm starting to taste delicious right now.
I know you.
It's peaks and valleys. All right.
I know this about you. Yeah. So, man, born and raised.
Very cool. So the first time I met Tyler was college. Was that 2007?
That's right.
And
September,
whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah.
It's Johnson and Wales. We didn't have to take the ACTs.
No.
So it wasn't really real school.
Not accredited.
They called it fake school.
They called it Johnson and Fales University.
Johnson and Hales University.
Or they call it more Johnsons than Wales. I forget which one it was.
Get the fuck out of here.
I got a good story, though.
All right.
First time I met you. Can I tell that?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so the first time I ever met David, right? So we go to school, we're assigned the different dorm rooms. I'm assigned my dorm room. And I started school with a childhood friend of mine, Jacobson, which Dave was a roommate with Jacobson too. We all know Jacobson. So, but I head into the dorm, and legitimately on the first night, right, is when I meet Dave. So we all get stoned as shit. So I myself
separately.
I
had met some dude, and he was just like, "Hey, you want to smoke this blunt?" I was like, "Yeah, sure. I'll walk with you into these streets. I don't know. I'll smoke this blunt."
In the fucking hood of Providence,
Rhode Island,
and
outside.
But myself, I got a little high, and then read a book. Right, because I'm a fucking nerd. So I'm sitting in the dorm room reading my book. And Dave comes back high as a motherfucker. And this is back when Dave wore nothing but black Adidas, fucking big ass jeans, big ass tall tee, fucking gray shirt, and a big ass fitted hat, right? So, legitimately, Dave is listening to Tupac. I'll never forget it. Comes back, puts on Tupac in his headphones, turns it up all the way.
It's blowing my headphones.
Fucking blowing the headphones out. I'm reading, right, sitting in my bed, and Dave, eyes bloodshot as shit, is staring at me and fucking mouth rapping the lyrics, just completely fucking staring at me. And I am there reading my book, looking at my book, look over, I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ, man, what the hell? Where am I?
Psycho.
Of course. So I look at him, I'm like, God damn it, dude, what do we got over here? And I fucking keep looking at my book, kid's still staring at me, still rapping, right? And then all of a sudden, this fool fucking takes his headphones off, gets up, starts walking over to me, and I'm like, oh, here we go. We're in a fight right now, day one. Literally walks up to me, and this kid says, yo, you like zombie movies?
I don't even know what I was thinking of.
That was the start of a beautiful relationship.
Oh, for sure. Here we are.
Yo, you like zombie movies?
13 years later.
Fucking
in
right.
the making.
In the
Fuck
making,
yeah.
baby.
So Johnson and Wales was a trip.
Yes.
We partied hard and studied harder. I think that's the other way around, but we'll just leave it at that.
Learn nothing about food.
So, basically, at this point, Tyler had already worked at restaurants. So you worked at restaurants in Maine. So tell me about that.
Yeah, I mean, I have always wanted to be a chef since fucking. I basically follow the same path, or not the same path, obviously, but the mindset. You know that chef's table with Alain Passard when he said at 14 I decided to be a chef, and I've been on that path ever since. That's right. Me too. Right. Same shit. Right. We took a little bit of I had to take a little bit of a diversion in the past couple of years from a restaurant chef. But when I was a young kid, decided I wanted to cook. Literally the day I turned 14, which is the legal fucking working age in Maine, started working as a dishwasher. So started in a bakery, worked in the bakery from time to time. They'd let me make sandwiches, which was exciting. Got to work with a fucking crazy old Belgian guy, right? He used to tell me stories about being an apprentice during the Second World War, getting bombed in fucking Belgium while he was making English muffins.
Think about that. Anytime you're having a hard service out there,
right.
Just think about that. The bombs going off, this guy's doing service.
But yo, to this day, the finest sourdough English muffins I have ever had in my entire life.
That's really cool.
He made it like Polish style, where like part sourdough, part yeast, part dry yeast. To this day, the best. I still have not been able to recreate that. But yeah, started working when I was 14, and then when I was 15, I was lucky enough to work for a chef named Pete Morency, who honestly molded me, learned and taught me how to be a chef, how to push, how to fucking work, what it was to lead from the front. And I was lucky enough to have that experience as a young man.
And he still owns his restaurant now, right?
Yeah, man. I mean, he's not on the line anymore, but I mean, him and Richard, one of my best friends.
Richard?
Fuck yeah, dude.
Crazy.
They got the Bitter End in Wells, and he just sold. He sold that Mexican restaurant that they had for a minute, but Pier 77 he sold his other restaurant. Now they just got Bitter End. Him and Kate, but I mean, Pete and Kate Morency. I mean, they're unbelievably influential restaurant duo in Southern Maine, and I mean, they're the type of people that they first opened their restaurant in 2002, and today the majority of the people that work for them have worked for them for over 10 years.
Whoa.
Yeah. But I'll never forget the way I got that job, right? I was working at a spot called Hurricane's Restaurant, right? I was a dishwasher over there, and I fucking hated it. And I literally, that was the first job I ever just no-showed into, because I was washing dishes, and I was like, fuck it.
First and last job, I hope.
First and last, yeah. Yeah.
Everybody's got to do that at some point.
I was like, fuck it, I'd rather smoke weed and go to the skate park. But no joke, so I lost that job, but that job sucked anyways. And then, legitimately, I just fucking went through the phone book and started calling restaurants, right? Calling every restaurant, asking if they had because at that point I'd washed dishes and I knew how to use a knife, so I thought I wanted to be a job. I was like, oh shit, I can get a job as a prep cook. So I'll never forget it. To this day, going through the fucking phone book, found it. It was still listed under Seascape's restaurant in the phone book because Pete hadn't fucking changed it yet. I'll never, to this day, I know the number like the back of my hand, 967-8500. Called that phone number when I was 15. Pete called me back, said, hey, you want to come in for an interview? Rolled in there. My hair was looking crazy as shit. And this dude he looked at me and he said, hey, I don't have a prep cook position, but will you work your ass off and wash dishes for me? And I promise you, I will teach you how to cook.
Yeah. And
that was it. And I said, fuck yeah, man. And, that's the kind of chef proprietor that, is nowadays, I don't want to say a rarity, but, that was the guy that he would clean the staff bathroom. That was his job. You know what I mean?
Cool.
Before he ever asked any other person to do it, he did it. Like a true, nailed his colors to the mast and led from the front.
Damn.
Chef.
That's fucking awesome. So you're still in contact with him? You know?
Oh, I love that guy. To this day, that is my mentor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I've worked for other people. I have had other people that have taught me a lot. But, I think, whatever, my personal opinion is the term mentorship is thrown around a little too easily these days.
Yeah.
But that man truly was invested in and invested in my success.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. That's awesome. So where did you get the inspiration to go to Johnson & Wales? Where did that come into play?
I mean,
or were you just
legitimately,
like, I just got to go to
I
culinary
was
school.
just
I don't know
fucking
where.
cooking, yeah.
Because you were a smart guy, man. You were an honor student. You know what I mean? I'm sitting over here with an average of 68. Like, I don't know. But this cooking thing better work out.
Right.
I got to sell some ass.
Well, my mom, my family, my mom, unbelievably intelligent woman. And her only rule, she had very few rules, but her only rule was we had to go to college because she never had, her whole thing was she never had that opportunity and she always felt that was the thing that held her back.
Yeah.
And so she told all of us we had to go to school, but I always knew I was going to be a chef ever since I was a fucking kid. Mm-hmm. And I cooked, by the time I was a senior in high school, I've been cooking professionally for 4 years, which, you don't need culinary school. I will say that. I might be ruffling some people's feathers, but you don't need it. And so, but my mom was like, listen, Tyler, like my wish, like the one thing my mom wanted from me was to go to college. So I went to college.
Got it done.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Got the scholarships, went to college. And for me, it was the culinary school that was in New England.
Yeah.
I went there on a fucking weekend. Me and my dad went down there to go check it out. And I don't know if you did it when you were down there, but literally they did this thing where it was like an open house and you could like apply while you were there.
Yeah.
Went there, applied, got fucking accepted while I went through the open house, and I was like, well, shit, this makes my life a hell of a lot easier.
That's fucking awesome.
So there you go. So after that, that was my trajectory.
So, Denise.
Oh.
Let's talk about her. What? So, a really cool fact that I know about her is that she was the PR person for Liberace.
That's a fact, yeah.
Very cool.
That's my mom, yeah.
And then what was her work in that realm of things?
Yeah, I mean,
like a publicist?
I mean, she is unbelievable woman. Honestly, to this day, the obviously I'm biased because it's my mom, but she is like the smartest, one of the most driven, most impressive individuals that I've ever met. Honestly, she, was never like a successful business person or whatever, but like if you met her on a person to person level, she comes across every single time like that, And, I mean, she worked her way up in New York City, fucking from zero, and got to be one of the managers of Liberace, when he was at his fucking height.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and that's honestly, that's how my dad and my mom met.
Oh.
Because my great uncle was his talent agent, was Liberace's talent agent. Yep.
Whoa.
And so my great uncle Roger is on my dad's side. And Roger obviously was working with my mom, and my mom notoriously would argue with Roger all the time because she didn't like his fucking ideas.
Yeah. Of course.
So he said, apparently he was like, yeah, you should meet my nephew, and that's how my dad and mom met.
He's like, I got this guy that you really won't like his ideas, but he's really nice. You know? It's like, that's awesome. And then your sister's doing big things. I see her right now. She's traveling out there.
My sister is literally the most intelligent human that I've ever met.
I said that about your mom. What is?
No, my mom.
I'm kidding.
But no, she's going to Oxford.
Oh, damn!
Full ride.
That's fucking awesome.
Fucking smile.
And I see her traveling. You know,
Yeah.
She's doing her thing.
Yep.
Not to brag or anything, but I fed her best meal she ever had in her life. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
She did say that.
Dry tortillas.
That's a fact.
And seared fish, baby. That's it.
And chef, don't forget seared meat as well.
That's right.
It was a
little
steak,
surf and turf.
It was a pile of steak, a pile of halibut, and fucking dry tortillas.
She was delicious though.
Literally to this day still talks about that. She was like, that was the greatest shit I've ever had in my entire life.
How about your brother? What is he doing right now? When's the last time I saw him? Oh yeah, when we told him about that underground Oakland drug lab that they had.
Oh yeah, shit.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, he was out here.
I've tried to go like 2 more times, and every time I go, they're like, "Yeah, I got busted up. Can't come." So I'm like, I've stopped trying. But it's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
There's like a dispensary in there, and they're playing loud ass trap music, and there's mushrooms and weed, and there's just like,
dope.
You're like, if I'm caught in here, like they're gonna blame me for throw all this. They're gonna be like, this guy is the one that like all this shit. So I'm just like, it's a little scary going. So last time I tried to go, I'm like, nah, I'm not going
avoid it. Yeah.
So when we were in Rhode Island, we moved to the east side from the south side.
That's a fact.
That was a godsend. That was amazing.
That was a game changer.
Yeah. I remember I would order from that United barbecue place around the corner.
Yeah.
And I'd have them deliver it. And after a while, they started dodging my phone calls because they were like, it's so close,
like,
motherfucker.
Yeah, tired of
tired
bringing it over.
I'm sorry. He'd come to the door all upset, like,
it.
we're right down the street. I'd be like, well, they lost my business.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Not willing to go above and beyond for the customer.
Listen, it's about customer service.
So,
hospitality.
You had a couple internships in Rhode Island, right? You went to what was it, Castle?
Yeah, I went to Castle Hill.
Castle Hill, that's right.
In fucking Newport.
That's an institution in Newport, Rhode Island.
Newport. I was down there.
We did a dinner there with Chef Jake Rojas back in the day. Shout out to Chef Jake.
Dude, Rojas, man. Legend.
The man.
Yeah.
And their setup is cool, man. The downstairs, upstairs kitchen, the dining room. That was a sexy place, man.
Yeah, honestly, I wish I had been in, but at the time, what was that, 20? We were fucking 20.
I remember that, right? They offered you the job? Is that what happened?
Yeah, I mean, they offered me a job, but,
you know, like, fuck that, dude.
I was going to school or whatever, but, and driving all the way over there, but, I mean, it was a cool place. They got great chefs over there. That guy, I'm forgetting his name, John, Chef John over at Castle Hill was the man. Chef Jen, she was awesome too, super impressive. And I mean, that was the first time I've ever been exposed to like a true like fine dining. Because I was used to, 400 covers, slinging pans, getting it done.
Yeah.
And I remember I was working the garbage aid station. I said, "Oh yeah, I got all that shit for the salad for that salad tonight." And I'll never forget. Chef Jen looked at me and she was like, "Tyler, don't you ever fucking call your mise en place shit?" And I was like, "Oh damn."
Yeah.
That was
That's
the
like
first
the
time.
same thing with calling the dish station the dish pit.
Exactly.
You're like, it's not a pit, it's a station.
Exactly. Or calling towels rags.
Yeah.
They are not rags.
Or scrap trim.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Doesn't exist.
Yeah. Roasted for that.
Yes. Yes. Exactly.
So Castle Hill, and then where else did you work at that time?
That was it. And then after
the
that, I worked at
dining
it was a lunch
Brisdy.
lady. Oh shit, that was a dope job.
That was a dope job.
That was a dope ass
Just
job.
artistic ladies
Just
all around.
There's like 70% girls at that.
Amazing.
That fucking spot.
Amazing.
Yeah. Dude, being a lunch lady, just serving all day long.
That's right.
Dude, going to school. That was, and so during that time, right? Every single weekend or every school year, right? We would work during the school year or whatever, but during the summer, I'd always go home and work at Pier 77 for Pete every single year, right? So that year, I was exposed to, and one of the things that personally I do feel like I've been always blessed with is people that are always hungry for knowledge, you know? And I was working with a dude named John Bagley, right, who introduced me to this book called Heat. Have you read Heat by Bill Buford? You should read it. Okay. So when I was 20, introduced me to this book called Heat, right? And Heat was the first book that I ever heard about Michelin-starred restaurants, right?
Yeah.
And so in that book, Heat, he has an entire chapter dedicated to Marco Pierre White. And
I remember. That's when we found out about him.
And that's when we found out about him.
I found out about him through you.
Exactly.
You were like, yo, look at this guy. And I was like, what?
Yeah. And so that was the man who truly allowed me to understand. And that was the same year. Honestly, for me, that was that year. It was like 2009 or something like that, where I was truly exposed to the idea of like real fine dining.
Yeah. Then the French Laundry Cookbook came out.
Yeah, the French Laundry Cookbook.
What year was that?
Well, the French Laundry Cookbook came out in like 99. But I had no idea.
That's what I'm saying. We
didn't know what it was.
When it like showed up, we were like, what the fuck?
What is this? Yeah. And so, Red Heat, Bill Buford, he has an entire chapter dedicated to working with Marco Pierre White. And I'll never forget, there's a scene where he's just talking about working with Marco, and Marco's that guy who's like super just like, you know, unbelievably fucking dedicated artist, you know, for lack of a better word, of cuisine. And so he's eating with Marco at one of his restaurants, and Marco Pierre White is, you know, having a roast pigeon with fucking parsley sauce or something like that. And he's like thinking about, he's looking at the plate and he's like, why the fuck is this like this? And then why the fuck is this like this? And then how the fuck is this going on? And he's like, and why is there so much goddamn parsley on my fucking sauce over here? And I just remember thinking about that and being like, damn, there is a level of cuisine that exists where those details are unbelievably important, you know? And so honestly, it was after that I truly started, and as with you, you know, we fucking tackled it together. I'll never forget, but like, that's when we started studying greatness.
Exactly.
Right? We started studying great fucking chefs and what they did, and mostly their mentality. And honestly, the thing that is always picked up upon for people like ourselves, kind of the self-masochists or whatever, is, well, step one is playing with sleep deprival, right?
Yeah.
That's step one. So what we started doing was fucking waking up at 5:30 a.m. to go to school, going to school all day, getting out of school. I had a job, again, as a fucking working the lunch line at a college, but I would work fucking lunch line until midnight. And then come home and sleep for 5 hours. And that was the first time in my life. And I know you did the exact same thing, where we started playing and toying with sleep deprival, which is step one, always.
We were just like, no, we were watching The Sopranos at that time. Remember, we'd be like, one more episode? No, it's like 2 a.m. We're like, fuck it, let's do one more.
Exactly.
And then we got to wake up at 6.
Exactly. Jesus. But then it trains your brain. And so honestly, like, learning to think that being in the shit was cool
Yeah.
was dope. And then at that time too, I also started staging. I mean, I staged at, what was that spot in Providence that everyone would go to with Matt? What was his name?
Oh, Gracie's.
Gracie's,
yeah, that's right.
I remember
that, yeah.
Yeah, I staged at Gracie's. I was there for, I think, 2 weeks. And, Matt at the time told me that, I can't, you can't go to school and do this at the same time and blah, blah, blah. But it was cool because that was the first like real place that I went to where, the cooks were working 14 hours a day and they were pushing and they came in and they were true chef de parties, like taking care of their own station. And that shit was impressive, man. Very impressive.
Matty Varga.
Yeah.
It's crazy. The first restaurant I worked at, Trattoria Simpatico, who Charlie Apple got me the job. Big up to Charlie Apple. He used to work there as a line cook.
No shit.
Yeah. So he was on the grill station. So I remember because all this was happening with you when I got there, they were like, "Oh yeah, he used to work the grill station." I was like, "Wow."
Nice.
Like, I'm working the same station as this person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was cool, man. Shout out to Matty. I haven't seen him in a long time, but last time I saw him, it was good.
Yeah.
It was they used to do like a potluck barbecue every October.
Yeah.
For all the chefs in Rhode Island. And me, Chef Jake and I used to go all the time. So,
right. Well, that's the thing is the chefs in Rhode Island, that's
a huge community, man.
Crew, man.
For sure. I mean, that's a small ass state. But
that's a fact. It's
like 45
state.
minutes to either end. Motherfuckers be complaining about driving 20 minutes. But so you did a couple stops at Gracie's. You worked as a lunch lady, and then I remember when we graduated, I had dreadlocks.
Oh yes,
and we had everyone at the party cut one dreadlock off.
Fucking dread, man.
That was cool.
Yes,
that was cool. And then
beautiful hair.
We had a empanada lady.
Oh my god!
You remember that?
I loved her,
dude.
Oh, what is?
She'd set up that place.
I know.
Malachi's.
I'm forgetting her name, but so much love for her.
Oh my god, empanadas.
Yes,
we go there every Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Every fucking Friday, Saturday, Sunday. She came out, catered that party.
Yeah, she did a great job, man.
Unbelievable.
It was really fun.
Product.
Yeah, and sad we don't get to eat those anymore. I wonder if she's still making them. She used to date like a newscaster or something. Like,
her husband
was like a weatherman.
Her husband is like a big fucking deal.
Yeah,
he was like a politician.
That's
dude.
right.
Well, that's kind of how it works in Rhode Island. I feel like is like everyone's a politician. Like you remember how our landlord, what was the dude's name?
Oh, what's his name? Damn, I forgot his name. That's so sad. That man let me pay my rent in weed.
With the Z.
Yeah, I'd give him an ounce of weed. Rent was $416.
$416
for a house. You remember
for
that?
A fucking house with a backyard,
basement, first floor, second
floor, backyard.
Remember when we were growing that weed out back?
Of course.
And then we had a situation where these guys drew attention to the house, and we were freaked out. So we climbed back there and cut it down.
Yeah, we had a scare.
Yeah, it was sad.
That was crazy.
That was a crazy night. For sure.
But yeah, his buddy was the mayor of Cranston, and he said,
"That's right, boys, Mayor Alan Fong."
Alan Fong.
Yeah.
And he said, "If you boys ever get in trouble, you just call me."
That's right. Well, you remember our house got broken into,
of course.
And then he's like, "I'm gonna give you a security system." We're like, "Oh shit, we don't have any money to pay for that." He's like, "Don't worry about it.
Yeah,
we're just gonna put this security system in. I'm gonna pay for it.
Right?
You guys just keep those ounces coming.
Fucking
keep
hilarious.
The rent paid, and we're good."
Fucking hilarious.
You remember that?
Of course.
He'd show up with like black eyes. He's like that guy would go out drinking, be a dick, and just get punched in the face.
Right.
And then go collect his rent the next day.
Right.
Jesus. But so then you
Paul Zarella.
Yeah, Paul Zarella. There you go. Paul Zarella. Shout out to you,
dude. Shout out to Paul Zarella.
Paul,
you are the man.
Made it. Best landlord I ever had in my life.
Fucking greatest landlord ever.
I'm sorry, Daddy. That's my landlord now.
I'm not apologizing to anyone. I hate every landlord I've ever had.
That's right. You've been fucked over by some landlords.
Listen, I just am not a fan of landlords. But it's fine.
I'm sorry for all you landlords out there. In case anybody's owning.
Actually, land. Tim and Unji are the shit.
Okay.
Shit.
All right.
But they're no longer my landlords. But I love them. But besides them, yeah, fuck all of them.
So then you fucking moved away from me. You went to New York City.
Yes, pursuing the dream.
That's right.
Gotta chase the dream, baby. You know, and that is.
At that time, I felt like pressure, you know, because you were leaving, and I was like, man, I'm still working at this place, Vittoria Simpatico. You know, don't get me wrong, it wasn't a bad restaurant, but it was like, I need more.
Yeah.
And then I found Tallulah and Thames. I found Jake Rojas, you know. So I started working for him, and at that same time, you went to Dovetail, right?
Yeah, I started at Dovetail.
How was that?
With John Fraser.
How was moving to New York? How was like your
crazy.
first week in New York?
Fucking crazy. Well, the thing that was dope is that my brother lived there.
Oh, sick.
So
that's right. You lived with him first.
Yeah, I moved to New York and literally slept on my brother's couch for 3 months, 4 months. Literally would sleep on his couch, wake up, go to work, fucking work. That was when I first started working, you know, 13, 14, 15-hour shifts, you know, on your feet all day, transporting on the subway. But it was beautiful, man. Honestly, that shit was beautiful. Like, I would never trade it for anything. Being a young cook, you know, at that time, the only thing I filled my brain with was that information. You know what I mean? Like cuisine, just fucking watching whatever videos I could watch, reading any cookbooks I could read. And the thing that was amazing about Dovetail that I really, personally, I was very blessed with is that was a restaurant where chef de parties operated as true chef de parties. So like when you worked the fish station at Dovetail, you ordered all the fish, you butchered all the fish, you had a commis chef, like a entremetier, right?
Yeah. So ordering the fish.
Yeah. So you were a true chef de partie. So if you were at the fish station there, you ordered all the fish, you worked with the purveyors, you learned how to calculate, you know, it was an a la carte restaurant. Yeah. So but the rule was you didn't 86 anything. So you had to learn how to play that game.
Ride
you know
the
what
bus.
I mean? Ride the fucking wave,
Ride
man.
The fucking bus.
Ride that shit.
You're like, I made it. It's Saturday night. You're
Right,
like, oh
exactly.
shit, tomorrow's Sunday. I can't get no fish.
No more fish.
I gotta stop by the market and tell no one.
Right, exactly. But dude, and you learn how to cut fish. We made all the sauces. I mean, honestly, shout out to John Fraser. I've got a lot of respect for that guy. As a chef, the restaurant that he ran and the kitchen that he ran was the type that was just a fucking training ground, man. You know what I mean? Like, you learn how to be an excellent operator and an excellent chef in that environment. And he created that environment, you know, and he pushed the shit out of us. He had unrelenting standards. Yeah. And fucking taught you how to push, man, and that's all that mattered. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
That's crazy.
That was beautiful.
How long were you there?
I was there for 2 years. But my ultimate goal was always to work at the French Laundry. To me, at that time, it was like the laundry was that place where you had, in my opinion, this is before, and I'm getting ahead of myself, but when I started at the French Laundry, that was the only 3 Michelin star restaurant in California.
That's right.
All the Michelin Guide really only existed on the East Coast. The only reason it existed on the West Coast was just to give TFL 3 fucking stars, you know? Besides that, there was nothing. Now there's like 7 3 Michelin star restaurants or something. But
did you go to Dovetail knowing that he was trained by Keller?
Of course, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you knew that you were going to use that as a
100%. Okay. Yeah, because I'm a very linear brained individual. Yeah. I've always been that way, where it's like I'm not very good at being creative, I guess, but I will outwork the fuck out of anyone, and I will find a way to do things more efficiently.
All right.
And I can refine shit. Okay. You know what I mean?
Very
but
cool.
Not necessarily the most creative thing.
We all gotta stretch some weaknesses.
But I fucking use that to my advantage. I'm a workhorse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's it.
So how did you put that to your chef at the time? Were you like, yo, get me a stage at the French Laundry?
Yeah,
basically?
so honestly, he initiated the conversation. I had been working there for, 18 months and, coming in, pushing every day, worked from a commis to the meat station. And then when I was on the meat station working as a tournant, he said, hey, Tyler, I want to bring you on as a sous chef, bring you on as a kitchen manager. And at that point, again, White Heat, honestly, to this day, is my favorite culinary book of all time. But, Marco Pierre White was never a sous chef anywhere. He never had a fucking management position anywhere. And so, honestly, I always looked at sous chefs as fucking assholes.
Yeah.
As like those guys that never had the balls to go out and do it themselves.
Yeah.
And always got stuck working for someone else and then becoming bitter.
Yeah.
And getting mad at the fucking system. So, honestly, he asked me if I wanted to be a sous chef, and instead of being like, oh, dope, I'm fucking 21 years old, and this guy is asking me to be a kitchen manager in his Michelin-starred restaurant in New York City, I turned him down. And I said, to be honest, John, I have always wanted to work at the French Laundry. So instead of accepting your offer to be a sous chef, can I reverse this conversation and ask you to assist me with getting to where I want to go?
Yeah.
And honestly, and that's the thing that, I have a lot of respect for John, because when I was, Pete, right, always told me that a true chef is invested in his cooks, right?
Yeah.
So the ones that come in, work for him every single day, put the fucking work in, do this and that, it is then the chef's responsibility to assist them in their career goals.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And that's the beauty of working in a restaurant, especially with people like, in fine dining. Everyone has those bigger goals and aspirations, which is very rare. And honestly, now that I've kind of stepped out of the fine dining kitchen for a couple of years, you truly realize that, like, when you are in that area, like, the people that come in and work for you have hopes and dreams. And if they put in the fucking time with you, I agree with Pete. Like, it is your duty to assist them to fucking get where they need to go.
Yeah.
And that's why I love John Fraser, man, because that dude, without hesitation, not one iota of fucking hesitation, said no problem. And it, just like that. It wasn't even about, like, oh no, I need you to work for me for this long, or blah, 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 or this and that. It literally, the guy pulled his fucking phone out and texted Tim Hollingsworth right then and there.
Yeah.
Got me a stage lined up, and I fucking flew to California and did a stage at the French Laundry. Just like that.
Very cool.
And
Yeah,
it was,
then you staged for how many days?
yeah, so honestly, I staged for one day.
How was your stage?
It was
Like,
fucking
walking
awesome.
in.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Were you I bet you were shitting up.
It was crazy, but you want to know something crazy, right? Is that when I went to the French Laundry for my stage, I walked in there, right? And this was back with the old kitchen, right? The kitchen that's in the cookbook. Like, it's the most romantic place. So I'm coming from New York City, and the one thing I will never forget is that I roll up, I get out of my car, and the planters for all the fucking trees in Yountville are rosemary.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and I will never forget that, because I got out of the car and I'm like, what type of culinary garden of fucking Eden is this over here?
You're like, these niggas got rosemary everywhere. What the fuck?
Dude, seriously. And there's garden, and it's just like, it's the most romantic thing. So, I walk up to the copper door, open up the copper door. No joke, the kid that's walking towards the door at the French Laundry on the day of my stage is a kid that I grew up with. I don't even know if I ever told you this story.
Oh, that's right.
Scotty Nichols.
Scotty Nichols.
Scotty
Wait,
fucking
what was
Nichols.
his nickname?
Fucking Scott Nickel.
Damn.
Love that kid. So we used to skate back in the day. The skate scene in Maine is very, very tight-knit community.
That's right, yeah.
And so, I mean, he lived fucking an hour and a half from where I grew up, but we all knew each other. And so, yeah, he was working the fish station. And so once Tim Hollingsworth heard that me and Scotty knew each other, he paired me up with Scott for my stage. And so I worked with Scott all day for my stage.
Whoa.
And it was fucking awesome, man. I mean, the laundry is, it really is just one of those unbelievable institutions. You know what I mean? It's an institution. And I showed up. I was able to be a part of the fucking brigade and be a part of service. And, it wasn't one of those 3 Michelin star restaurants where they have this gigantic brigade and everyone's just kind of chilling and there's fucking 5 commies on every section. Like, there was a chef de partie on each section and there was no one else to help them out.
Yeah.
And everyone is so in the shit. And it is just the fucking energy and the push and the quality of the ingredients and the fucking standards is just unbelievable. But yeah, I'll never forget. Made the beurre monté that day for fucking service. That was the first time I've ever seen like 35 pounds of beurre monté made at once.
Whoa.
That shit was crazy.
Damn.
Fucking crazy. Yeah.
35 pounds of beurre monté.
Every fucking day. That's how much we would make. 35 pounds. Fucking wild. I mean, you never thought in your life as a chef de partie on the fish station, as a poissonnier, that you would be in the shit cutting butter.
Yeah, exactly.
But chef, let me tell you, you cut 35 pounds of fucking butter for beurre monté every day, you are in the juice. Just cutting butter.
Man. So, you worked there for a total of how many years?
At the laundry.
Yeah.
5 years.
5 years.
Yeah.
And so, at the time you got the job, I remember getting the news from Charlie Apple. Because I think it was Sean O'Hara who had figured it out. Like, somebody knew and they were like, hey, did you know that? I was like, no fucking way. So I call you and you're like, yo, I'm going to the French Laundry. I was like, what? I remember being so fucking proud of you, man. Like, so excited that you were going to this place that we regarded as an institution,
Right.
And part of me was like, well, if I don't fucking make it, I know he will, so I'm going to fucking mooch off of him if he ever makes it. So I'm not going to become shit. I'm going to Tyler's house, man. I can't work it. So, I do my time at Tallulah's, and then I'm about to leave Tallulah's, and then you fucking give me a call, and you're like, hey, why don't you come out here?
Yep.
And we were going on our winter break that year, and I took a road trip with my girlfriend at the time, and we ended up in Napa.
Yep.
I fucking loved Napa.
Oh, man.
When I went up there, I was like, damn, I could live here.
Yep.
And that was, I remember, because we went to New Orleans, fucking Dallas, Texas, all over the place.
Yeah.
And it's like, I didn't feel at home anywhere, but when I got to Napa, I was like, man, like, I could live here, And then I remember leaving and just keep that thought in me. Mm-hmm. And then after a while, when we got back, I was like, I'm moving out there.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I was like, look, like, I knew I had good skills coming from Jake Rojas' kitchen, but I knew that I was not, like, formed enough.
Right.
So I almost, like, didn't want to work at the French Laundry because I was like, I can't fucking be getting yelled at in front of Tyler all day. Like, this is not right. Like, he's going to lose all types of respect for me. This is me at 22. I'm like, I can't do that, So I'm like, all right, if anybody's going to lose respect for me, it's going to be the restaurant at Meadowood, the only other 3-star kitchen that there is in California.
There you go. Yeah.
So I remember, like, going to your house and being like, oh, yeah, I'm going to start at the restaurant at Meadowood. And I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to walk there tomorrow. And I didn't realize that Napa is like this long valley and it takes 30 minutes to fucking drive there.
It's
like,
the classic just getting... But hold up. Can I interject real quick? So basically, this is how the story goes. So basically, I'm working at the laundry. At the time, I'm the fish chef de partie over there. And Dave calls me up and says, hey, it's time. Like, I need to take my career to the next level. And, I'm like, fucking right, let's do it. So this fool buys a one-way plane ticket. Okay? No fucking job opportunities lined up. One-way plane ticket, staying on my fucking floor at my house, right? No other place to stay. My girlfriend at the time is like, who the fuck, what? Like, this kid bought a one-way plane ticket. How long is he staying with us? What else are you doing? I'm like, listen, shut up. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
I might have
whatever.
fucked up your little relationship.
I don't care, but that's for the best. But anyways, all good, right? One-way plane ticket, no job opportunity lined up, comes out, literally just relies on the fucking knock on the door, right?
The will.
The fucking
will to work.
And honestly, that is something that, there is no way to calculate persistence, And it's interesting. I just picked up the new laundry cookbook.
Yeah.
And honestly, TK has a whole chapter, or not chapter, a little blurb about how he talks about ambition versus persistence, right? And I personally disagree with him on what he says with ambition, because I know he says some chefs get ahead of themselves with how ambitious they are. Personally, I disagree with that, but I will agree with what he's saying. Persistence is honestly the most important trait that you can have as a chef, and I will say as a fucking person. You know what I mean? Like,
as a man.
As
That's
a
what gets
fucking
the
man.
ladies.
There you go.
Persistence, baby.
Persistence.
You gotta persuade them.
But I mean, dude, there is something to be said about everyone is gonna fucking tell you can't do it. Everyone.
Yeah.
And if you look at anyone that's ever been successful, no one ever tells you, well, there will be a very small percentage of people that support you when you go out and try something new, right? What were we talking about? Persistence?
Persistence.
Well, I mean, anytime you try to do something new, right, there's going to be a very, very small percentage of people that will support you, right? But the vast majority of people, I'm not going to say they will actively not support you or say that they don't support you, but they won't support what you're doing. You know what I mean? They'll just kind of be neutral. You know what I mean? But as I'm saying is to persist through that and to push through it is a quality that you can't train, but literally is the fucking difference between those that do it and those that don't, Because you're always going to get kicked in the fucking teeth.
All the time.
Every single goddamn time that you try to do anything. And then you're going to fail and fail and fail and fail. And as I'm ranting on, the one thing, right, that our industry, which at some point we'll take a turn in this fucking conversation, talk about our industry. But the one thing that our industry fails at, and something that I personally am taking responsibility on myself, the company that I've built, the business partners that I have, the direction that we want it to take, is that chefs and restaurant people, we have to be more comfortable with attempting something new and potentially failing, right?
Yeah.
Which these other industries, especially the tech industry, we're out here near Silicon Valley, like these fools have a fail fast mentality. They embrace failure. They embrace moving quickly. But failure isn't this stagnant situation. It's, hey, move forward, fail, learn, move forward. You know what I mean? And that's a problem that our industry has. And perfect example, COVID has fucking destroyed our industry because it caught our industry flat-footed.
Yeah. And
too many chefs are not willing to be dynamic enough and now have lost their fucking businesses. But
I mean, some people
going on
obviously don't have the control and lost their business with things that are
right. Sorry, I shouldn't say it like that. But I guess what I'm saying is that chefs need to invest in other forms, to be completely honest, in other revenue streams other than their brick and mortar restaurants.
Yeah, for sure.
The restaurant industry as a whole, and being a chef, when you're a chef, you are a business person, right? And so you have to understand having a fucking diversified income stream.
Yeah.
Right? As opposed to just, I've got, you know what I mean, restaurants. It has to be more than that. You know what I mean? And,
sure.
and just we as an industry.
It used to be restaurants. Because, Keller had the laundry, and he's like, I need a money maker to fund this one. So let me do Bouchon, which is what I think. It's my opinion, you know. There's no telling. Somebody probably went to the guy and said, "Hey, you do this good. Let's do a bistro." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
and I'm not saying anything like we should have multiple restaurants, and I'm not saying anything bad. Like the chefs that do it unbelievably well. But the thing that I do think that our industry has a lack of is ingenuity. Like I can be a chef, right? I am still a chef. Okay, me, Tyler Vorce, 2020, whatever it is, November 2020. I am a chef. No one can ever fucking take that away from me. I've been working every day since I was 14 years old as a chef, right? I haven't worked in a what?
Don't tell
I haven't worked in a I haven't worked in a professional kitchen in a couple of years. That doesn't not make me a chef, right? And our industry has to learn that we can have a diversified menu of options, right? I am, mark my words, 10 years from now, I'm going to have my fucking restaurant. It is going to have accolades. I am going to train the next generation of fucking culinarians, right? That is my duty to my fucking industry. But from now until then, I have to spend my time allowing myself to benefit my industry in diversifying the options available, right, to the next generation of culinarians. And that's
what you're doing with truffle shuffle.
And that's what we're doing right now. And so I believe very, very strongly about this because, you know, our industry currently, like you and like me, we spend all our lives becoming these great chefs, which is very important. But then when it's time to go out, and especially in the pre-COVID world, right, it's an unbelievably competitive culinary landscape. There are more talented chefs in this country than ever before. Banks will not lend you money to open a fucking restaurant, right? So we have to go and ask some other rich guy to give us money to have our project, and then all of a sudden I'm a prisoner in my own space, right?
Yeah.
So why, as chefs, we're intelligent enough to fucking make the finest cuisine in the world, change the fucking menu all the time, motivate a team, get everything done every single day, but somehow we're not fucking intelligent enough to make enough money to fund our own projects. I don't see the validity in that. I'm gonna go prove that wrong. So, you know, that's me going off on a tangent. But sorry,
the fucking podcast.
I mean, dude, I had to fucking rant a little bit. So that's why we started Truffle Shuffle, right?
I'm not editing any of that out.
Don't fucking
edit.
It's
fucking in there.
Leave
right?
it.
I don't give a
Leave
fuck.
It. Don't edit that. But literally, that's why we started Truffle Shuffle, right?
Yeah.
That is what. And I know Truffle Shuffle has a fucking, you know, it's the kid in the Goonies.
Hey,
you know, fucking doing the Truffle Shuffle. But if you think of it, in the Goonies, it's a bunch of misfit kids seeking the treasure to save their fucking neighborhood, right? We're a bunch of misfit chefs seeking the treasure to save our fucking industry. That's how I truly see the project that we have started.
Word up, man. Word up.
Yep.
So before we get to that project, you're at the French Laundry.
Oh, yeah.
I get to California. Go to the restaurant on Meadowood.
Yes.
Luckily, Chef Costa gives me a job.
Doesn't kick you out.
Thank God.
God, dude. Dave knocks on the back door.
No
no stage. No fucking anything lined up. Literally wakes up, is like, yo, I'm going to go to Meadowood. I'm like, all right, cool.
But Tom gave me a ride.
Tom gave you a fucking ride.
Up there.
And
he's like, all right, I'm going to wait here for 5 minutes. If you come back outside, then I know you don't have the job. But if you don't come back outside, I know you're in there starting.
Sink or swim.
I was like, do it. I was like, I loved it.
That's the shit.
And I remember when I got there, Chef Kat came to the back and he was like, Chef Katiana Hong.
Yep.
Shout out to Chef Kat, the god.
Badass,
She comes to the back door and she kind of does like this baseball, kind of like puts her hands on her knees. And I'm like, huh. You know what I mean? I don't think, and nobody's ever walked to the back of the kitchen. So she's like, who is this crazy motherfucker? You remember Howard?
Of course.
Howard was
Howard
the one that walked me from the car.
I know.
From Tom's to the fucking back of the restaurant. And he's all like buttering me up. Like, oh yeah, you're Tyler's boy, right? Yeah,
right.
I fucking work canapé with Tyler at the laundry. Like this and that. Shout out to Howard. He's got a restaurant in what is that? Dubai. That's right. Fucking kicking ass out there.
Love you, Howard.
But Howard Coe, the man. And he had also worked with Chef Kat and Chef John at Melise.
Oh, at Melise, yeah.
Back in LA. So there's a lot of history out here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so she brings me inside, and I guess years later I found out that he was, buttering me up outside. He walks inside, he's like, I don't know who that motherfucker is. But straight up. I'm like, how could you?
Come on, dude.
So, so I get the job, thank God, and then I remember I moved out of your place.
Yep.
And you were at the laundry still, and then what happened after that?
You got a job and you started working every single fucking day.
I never saw you, even though we lived in the same fucking town.
Yeah, we lived in the same town.
Then you slept on my couch for a little bit.
Oh, I did. Yeah,
that's right.
I did. Then our positions changed. Yeah.
Had to leave the nest.
Yeah.
Tyler was astray for a little while.
Yeah, I was astray. Dave took me in. I was on the inflatable.
That's right.
For a fucking couple months.
That was fun.
That was awesome.
And then you got an apartment to yourself.
Yeah.
And then you became a sous chef.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, how did that all happen? Like, did you know it was coming? Was it like did they build you up for it? Or
it's kind of crazy. For me, honestly, so I was of the generation right after Tim and when DV started, right?
DV.
So Chef David Breeden.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Love that guy.
He's the man. He always comes in to the Charter Oak. Shout out to Charter Oak.
Yes. Shout out to the Charter. And shout out to DB.
Hell yeah.
Love that guy. Unbelievable.
Last time I saw him was at Target.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, that's right.
Just randomly
saw
Chef
David Breeden in Target.
That's like seeing, for normal people, that's probably like seeing a fucking, I don't know. Like
that's not the first time I've seen him somewhere weird.
Really?
The last time before that, me, Carl, and John.
How funny is it that seeing a man at Target is seeing somewhere weird?
For us, it is.
I know.
Because we're not 9 to 5.
Right,
you know
exactly.
So we be going at like 7:30.
Right.
You know, when it's about to close. What the fuck are you doing here? But I saw him at a gas station last time. I was going to a J. Cole concert with Chef John and Carl Alexander.
Yes.
That was crazy, But we're at this gas station, and Chef John always used to do this thing where he used to forget to put lotion on, right? So he'd have ashy-ass elbows. And I was just, he picked me up, so I'd be in the back seat just roasting him about his fucking sandpaper elbows. You know what I mean? So he's like, dude, I can't be driving to Oakland to the Oracle Center with you roasting me about my elbow. So he goes in the store and gets some lotion and starts rubbing it on himself. And who turns the corner? None other than David Breeden.
God damn.
And he's rubbing the fucking store lotion on him. They're like, oh, hey, how you doing? Shake his hand. But yeah, I always see him at weird places.
Love it.
So,
that's like, for normal people, that would be like seeing fucking Steph Curry just at fucking
Exactly.
What I mean?
Exactly.
Like, or whatever.
People just don't know. Some people just don't
fucking know.
But
I mean, I work for him. That guy is the man, and
he was the exec chef of Per Se, no?
He was the executive sous, Per Se, with him and Eli. And then he left that, came to the laundry. But I mean, dude, that man, just one of the most fucking badass individuals I've ever met in my life, Like, organized, just fucking ironclad standards, like, unbelievable fucking work ethic, and literally the most talented cuisinier that I have ever fucking imagined. Like, that guy, just one of the most artistic, like, brains, you know what I mean? Like, we used to like look at cookbooks, and this guy would just like, we'd take the recipes and we'd test it out, and that was the thing too, is like, he's not afraid to try something different, and that's what I always loved about him, because we would try something, right, and we would start and we would write the recipe and we would just make it better from there, and that was all it was. And just the way that man progressed his cuisine, and the relentlessness and the tenacity, right? the tenacity at which he pursued, perfection, or I don't know what it was, just pushing the cuisine forward is something that has left an indelible mark in me, you know what I mean? And just like, luckily...
You started when Tim Hollingsworth was there.
I started when Tim was there,
You saw a complete change.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean,
evolving.
Listen, Tim, unbelievably talented guy.
Sure.
Love that guy. But, when I started, and, it was a changing of the guard, so to speak. So, I worked the canapé station with DV, and the canapé station at the laundry is, notorious for you work directly behind the shift. So you share a station with whoever's expediting, so you get it. You're the first line of defense, right?
Sure.
And so, but no, I was DB's first canapé cook at the laundry, and we grew together, man. And he, fucking pushed me harder than I thought possible, and I am not the person I am today without him. But yeah, I mean, I was there for I was there for a year and a half, and then they offered me the sous chef position there. And, I told you before how I always told myself I was never going to be a sous chef anywhere.
Yeah.
But the laundry was the only place where I was like, okay.
I'll be a fucking sous chef.
Yeah, I'll fucking work here, man. And honestly, that was like one of the greatest time periods of my entire life, just the amount of autonomy that they give you at that restaurant. Yeah. But just, I mean, Chef Keller has done an unbelievable job just being that extremely supportive mentor role, right? And being very scrupulous, but at the same time giving you enough space to truly grow, And honestly, that provided it for me. So, by the time I was about a year and a half in, I mean, I was expediting. I had my own team. I had my own team of guys. And
how was the transition from you becoming a cook to becoming a sous chef? Because I know that's always challenging when you're,
And so that is the thing, right? Is you go from being an operator to being a leader, right? And that's the true definition. And, I know, or basically, I guess what I'm saying is you go from you learn how to do everything as best as you can. And all of a sudden now you have to get that fucking guy to do it the way that you do it. Right. And that is the test. That truly is the test. And that's the test of great chefs. And a great chef is synonymous with a great leader, right? So it is, how can I make sure that person does it the way that I would do it, right?
Yeah.
And then how do I convey that message, right? How do I teach that person to see all these things that I see, right? And that was the biggest thing for me. And honestly, I fucking loved it, man.
Yeah.
I still love it. I love having a team, having that energy, fucking the teaching aspect. I mean, all chefs are natural teachers. Mm-hmm. That's the beauty of being a chef, man. And honestly, I think now that I have my own business, being a chef puts us in such an advantage because we already know how to manage logistics. We already know how to manage operations. We already know how to teach people at such a what other profession do you have to teach people where everything is live? When you're teaching a guy on a new station, you know what I mean? Even though you're teaching him and someone else is there teaching him, you're still serving the food that they fucking make to the guest that night.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're still, it's all live. There's no, oh, hey, let's fucking get it better next time.
Yeah.
And that's the true difference. And then, also too, just learning how to maintain the standards at one of the best restaurants in the fucking world, which for me, the craziest thing was when I started expediting, it was about a month into me, or not even, a couple weeks into me expediting. And that's when, that's when that article about Per Se came out, right, in the New York Times, and then TK and DB and Manila and all the guys went over to Per Se, and all of a sudden it was the kids running the fucking restaurant, you know?
And that article was written by who? Who was that?
That was Pete Wells.
In New York.
Yeah.
He's just trashing it, no?
Yeah, that fucking guy.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and whatever, this is a podcast, so
yeah,
here's
hey, speak your mind, baby.
Fuck
Let the
food
world
writers
know.
nowadays. That's all I gotta say.
There
like,
you go.
Fuck food
Except
writers
for
nowadays.
Soleil.
Okay,
the shit.
And I shouldn't say that, but you know, you got like Soleil. She's got a message that she's getting out, and she's not trying to rip people down.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? She is, she's out there making a stand for what she fucking stands for, which
for sure.
I unbelievably respect.
Oh my god.
And she is eloquent. She is well written. She is supportive. That's the biggest thing, is that she is supportive, right?
Yeah.
She is not out here like and again, this is a podcast. So Pete Wells, that fucking guy writes articles to sell newspapers. And the only way he can write articles to sell fucking newspapers is to write audacious, ridiculous articles about that are false. You know what I mean? That are literally fucking false.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And in my opinion, you know, you got that guy, fucking Ryan, whatever his name is, over at Eater in New York too. Like, fuck that guy. But anyways, not to go down that rabbit hole too much. But just basically the point I'm trying to make is that if you are a food writer, you have a duty to us in the restaurant industry to support us, right? If you're going to be a hater, get the fuck out of their food writing position.
Yeah.
Right? It is an industry that is hard enough already, right? It is an industry that there's a lot of underrepresented sections of our fucking industry that you could be supporting them and uplifting them, which Soleil does a fucking amazing job doing.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? Like, look at her.
I found out about a lot of shit from her.
Well, that's what I'm saying, because she appreciates food. Yeah. She appreciates the industry, right? And that's the problem is, in my opinion, right, is that food writers are trying to sell newspapers. They think their only way that they can sell their product is by making these ridiculous articles. Whereas instead it should be, hey, how do I more intelligently provide value to the reader, right? Which is, hey, maybe don't write about the same fucking restaurants all the time. Maybe go find some fucking new restaurants to write about. There's always exciting shit going on in our industry. And
especially in New York City.
Especially in New York City, right? And out here. You know what I mean? And out here too. But anyways, so Pete Wells.
It's funny though, like we think about those negative reviews, and then you think about the people that also get excited that they got positive reviews from that man.
Right.
So it's kind of crazy. Like,
the thing is, and something that I have to say is that, and again, I'm a nobody, right? I'm going to preface this with saying I'm a nobody. Okay, but if you are the New York Times food critic, you are in many ways the most powerful food critic on planet Earth.
Yeah.
Right? You are. And in my opinion, you should take that with a fucking grain of salt and understand the power that you have as a person, as a writer, right? As a fucking person that you're not just writing these articles that catch the attention of people. You're writing articles about restaurants, right? You're impacting that restaurant. That restaurant has people that fucking work day and night there and put their blood, sweat, and tears in that restaurant every day. People that rely on a paycheck. Like restaurants are like one of the only fucking, it's like you operate this business, the margins are slim enough, and then you get your fucking ass handed to you by these people that
can't do what you do.
You are literally, I mean, to quote Marco Pierre White again, you are judged by those that know less than you about what you do.
Yeah.
That is a fact. You know what I mean? And that is a fact. Like, I'm sorry.
And that's another reason why Soleil is respected, because she used to cook. You know
she used to cook.
Yeah.
But also, too, you know what I mean? I haven't seen her write anything where she's tearing people down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's why I respect her as a food writer. You know, and like, I don't respect food writers that tear people down. If you want to write something and disagree with a chef all day long, you have my respect. If you want to write an article where you're just trashing, you're kicking someone in the fucking balls, like, you no longer have my respect. But again, I'm a fucking nobody, so who cares?
No.
But anyways, articles written, all the guys got to leave. All of a sudden, I'm running the restaurant. No joke, Dave, that week. You know who comes in the fucking restaurant when everyone's gone? Guy Savoy. Fucking Elena Arzak.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay? Literally, they come into the fucking
So
restaurant.
you're on the phone.
I mean, I'm on the TV, chef. They're fucking...
That's right.
Literally, I'm watching them on the TV.
Explain this to everybody. What is the TVs here?
Yeah, and so I don't want to necessarily pretend like I'm a spokesperson for the...
No, I hear you.
But, like, there's a television that connects the two restaurants, right?
So there's cameras, you can see what's going on.
And that's the beauty of what Chef has developed, is that relationship between two sister restaurants, because it's that connection, right? And it's the way that those restaurants work together to push the cuisine forward. Mm-hmm. Okay. But no, I mean, I'm there, new, running a fucking, arguably the greatest fucking restaurant in America, and everyone's gone. Yeah. And some of the best chefs in the entire world are coming in to eat, and that shit was crazy. But, you know, you learn how to make sure you know how to maintain standards, you know? And maintaining standards at a restaurant, especially a tasting menu, 3 Michelin star restaurant that serves 100 covers a night, is a skill set that you have to learn. You know, it's fast, it's hard. There's an unbelievably small window for fucking success. Yeah, exactly.
It's like everything's working against you.
Everything. And so you're constantly doing this. But that's the beauty of it too, right? That's the beauty of it. I miss that's what I miss. You know what I mean? And I will sit here and say all day long, we're doing this business over here. It's great, but that's where I perform best, you know, is during service.
Yeah.
And
I know the feeling.
It's a matter of time before I get back to it.
When you're putting that apron on before service.
Oh, dude, the apron. Right? Dude, and the apron, and the more you study, like, you know, like these other guys, how do I explain it? You know, now that we have this business, right, you're exposed to these other industries that we're insulated from when we're in the restaurant industry, like the marketing industry. I'm just going to say that right now, right? And so the marketing industry, if you think about it, there's all these businesses that have to convince the customer of their value, because intrinsically their business might not necessarily seem like it has value to the customer, right? So you have to convince the customer of that value, right? Mm-hmm. And that's something that's interesting for us as chefs, because we create beautiful cuisine. Beautiful cuisine kind of speaks for itself. You know what I mean? You don't really need someone coming up with some catchy fucking tagline to sell some beautiful food, right? Instead, you take a picture of some beautiful food and you put it in front of someone and they're like, holy shit, that looks really nice. You know what I mean? And so, where am I going with this?
I caught you after a long day, so you might get a little bit of time to
long
think
day,
about this
just
real
fucking
quick.
finish that Pacifico. We got some Modelo's somewhere too.
Oh, bring those Modelo's out here.
We got them in the studio kitchen. I'm gonna go outside.
Oh, fuck.
Where are you at on your Pacifico? You still got it?
I'm done.
You're done?
I'm good.
Do you want one more?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
Yeah. So you're doing something for their members. You hear that? That's that truffle popcorn, baby.
Mm. Mm. So, basically they said, hey, can you do something for our members? So we said, of course, right? Because you always say yes and then figure out how to fucking do it. Mm-hmm. So, we did a kind of meal kit, basically, where we put together all the ingredients, how to make that truffle risotto, right? And we put the truffles in that kit to sell through that shit, right? And then we thought, like, hey, how can we provide an additional value? And we said, you know, we will do a Zoom class, like a live class on how to cook the risotto, right? And so, honestly, we had no idea if it would fucking work, but we had no other options, right? And the year before, in around Valentine's Day, we tried doing a similar project and it failed like a motherfucker. It did not work at all. And so, but we went for it, and literally the next day, the battery put it live. We put it on our website as well. We put it live too. And
was that the one that was him?
Yes. Yeah.
The one that I cut down the...
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And literally within fucking 4 hours that we launched the fucking class, we sold out of all of those truffles. All 25 pounds. Gone. And that was the start of our fucking business pivot, man. We went from selling truffles directly to chefs at restaurants to selling live cooking experiences. Just like that. And I know you were part of our very first class, so you can see fucking David Sucio. Episode number 1 as the fucking announcer.
That's right.
Remember that shit?
You guys. Like, yeah, we need an entrance. I was like, I got you.
Yep. And so, yeah.
Damn, so you guys did that one video, and then when did you decide, like, hey, we're going to fucking do this full bore? Like, we're going into this? Was that
so honestly,
days after, or was it just like...
Well, so honestly, it very organically became an unbelievable fucking revenue source. So, like, we started... In the first class we did, we sold like 60 kits. But the beauty of working with the battery is people who are members of the battery are also like CEOs and owners of all of the biggest companies out here in the Bay Area, right? And so all of a sudden, we got hit with all these requests for like company events and this, that, and the other. And the beauty of it is we knew how to ship perishable product, right? We knew how to distribute a perishable product by selling truffles, right? We knew what installation we needed, the ice packs. We knew that, right? And so, and we had the UPS accounts and the FedEx accounts and this and that. And so, you know, there were a couple things that we kind of knew. And we knew, like, basically we knew enough to be dangerous, right? But, so we knew how to cook, we knew how to write recipes, we knew how to distribute a perishable product, okay? So, and then the other side of it kind of naturally fell in place. Like, we did that first class, and then we learned how to market it on Instagram and Facebook. And then we did a couple other classes, and we partnered with Chef Suzette Gresham at Accarello. Shout out Chef Suzette.
I was there for that one, yeah. Shout out for Chef.
Incredible.
Yeah.
To do a ricotta gnocchi. And literally we just...
So
it was
good.
Oh, unbelievable.
So good.
And it was one of those things where, I mean, we did it once, and it was just like people... We had a fucking 70% returning customer rate.
Well, if you think you created hope in a time where there was no hope. Like,
yeah,
and
community.
The world changed like that.
Right.
And you fucking made a business model that...
And and honestly, and, you know, again, it's luck, right? It is luck. We were in a position, we had something that we had to fucking push. We had a skill set that we had no idea if it would fucking work, but honestly, and that's the thing too, is we doubled down. And then we hammered the sales. And then we fucking went from there. So legitimately, we went... And I don't know if this is incriminating or not, but I'm going to say it. But the first couple kits we built in our fucking house. You know what I mean? Like, there was not in some fucking kitchen. We built that shit in our house, right? And then we were working at Forage Kitchen. We built them at Forage. We went to, and then, you know, one day we got a request from a private company and said, hey, could you do 150 kits for us? And we were like, yeah, for sure, no problem. And literally, we're at ground zero. So, like, the morning of, we, like, go to Restaurant Depot, buy all the ingredients. Because Restaurant Depot was still open, you remember? Mm-hmm. And nowhere else was fucking open. So, go there, get everything, build them, send all the fucking kits out. And then we're like, all right, we're going to do truffle mac and cheese, and we're going to sell 1,000 of them, right? And, again, we're still working out of our house. And we did 150, so now we're like, oh, yeah, we're going to sell 1,000. And, you know, our brains didn't quite understand what doing 10x would actually be like from a logistical perspective. Like, at that point, and then literally I call up, like, Tamales Bay Foods, right, because we work with Cowgirl Creamery, we get the wagon wheel from them. I'm like, all right, yeah, I need this much wagon wheel. They're like, okay, perfect, that's going to be like 3 pallets of fucking food. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. Like, we don't even know where to put 3 pallets. And so at that point, literally, we're like, we've already sold 500 of these things. And so I'm calling everywhere. We need a space to work out of. And so luckily, I get a hold of these guys over at Carrie Dove Catering in Oakland. And we moved into Carrie Dove, and we literally produced and shipped out packages from a fucking loading dock for like 4 months. And I know you remember that shit. Mm-hmm. And legitimately, I mean, we just fucking learned everything.
I delivered.
I know you did. Yeah. And do you remember how I downloaded that app?
Yeah.
And it was literally Optimo Route. It's the same fucking program that like DoorDash runs off.
Really?
Of. Yeah. And literally, remember we downloaded it. We'd give you the code to your cell phone. It'd show you the route, and then like I could watch where you were at in the route, and like that is one thing that I will say being a chef gave us a leg up on is like as a chef, you're a problem solver. You know what I mean? It's like I have in naivete certainly fucking had a play in it too, but like legitimately, like I have no idea how to fucking run a like distribution technology platform, you know, but I'm stupid enough to think that I can figure it out. You know? So I'm over here with Optimo Route trying to code it with my fucking brother, you know what I mean? And like, we're like, all right, you go here and you go there, and I'm calling up everyone, we're paying everyone on fucking Venmo, and like, I mean, we just did it, you know, we just fucking did it, but we just kept going and kept going and kept going. And then, you know, we moved into a space that was over in Emeryville, which was fucking, you know, cool. And then, you know, we pissed everyone off over there because we're always working a lot. And it's a bunch of fucking, I don't know, you know, fucking Berkeley folks over there. And so anyways.
They didn't like you working 16 hours.
They didn't like us. They're a bunch of fucking... Honestly, there's a bunch of fucking rich trust fund kids that say they're artists and don't have to actually work for a paycheck.
The machine gun just went off. Shots fired.
I said it.
It's all good.
I said.
Say whatever.
Again, it's Sucio talk. I'm saying whatever the fuck I want.
Fuck you want.
We do not have the fucking luxury of not having to make a paycheck every single week.
Exactly.
Okay, so if you're out there and you're some rich fucking trust fund artist kid living in a loft,
appreciate it.
Appreciate your lifestyle
and share some of it.
And then shut the fuck up when other people around you are trying to work and make some money, and don't just bitch and pretend like you're a victim of your fucking situation. All right, just shut up.
All right, there we go. Got Tyler all riled up.
Yeah, a little bit. But so basically, we piss everyone off. We get kicked out of that spot, and then lo and behold, we found this place over here on the market. It was a very big step for us to take, but legitimately our business was growing, and in no way, shape, or form am I trying to suggest that we have made it, right? We are still in the shit up to our fucking eyes, right? But I know that
you're doing better than you were, baby.
Oh, we're doing better than we were. We have taken a chance on ourselves. And I gotta say that is the most, you know, again, it's refreshing, man, is betting on yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, as an entrepreneur, as doing something and moving forward in a space where you got to make decisions. I got to say one of the most comforting things that you can do is make a decision and then know in the back of your mind that you will work day and fucking night to make sure that happens.
Yeah.
And it's on you. You know what I mean? It's not like someone else's decision. You know, it's on you to make sure it happens. And so at this point, again, we haven't fucking gotten anywhere. But mark my words, our vision is large enough and we have the right team, right? So I can't predict the future, but again, we have the vision, we have the team, we have the opportunity. Now it's just a matter of fucking putting it together.
Yeah.
You know?
So you got this location.
That's right.
Used to be
a fucking noodle factory.
That's right.
Dechang Foods Incorporated, right? In East Oakland. There was a 3-story noodle machine in here. We ripped that thing out.
That's crazy.
And then, yeah, man. And honestly, you know, we got a production line. We've got studio kitchens outside in the parking lot.
That's right.
We've got.
They're very cool.
They're fucking super cool, right?
And look out for those Sucio videos. You're gonna be seeing some
look out for these David Sucio collab videos. We're doing some of those coming up.
Coming up here soon.
We're gonna drop dates over here
for Christmas
around Christmas time, and then but yeah, and you know, again, it is we truly see the opportunity to democratize cooking knowledge at a rate and at a scope that has not been done yet.
Yeah.
Right? And that is the opportunity that's in front of us.
Fucking amazing.
Yeah. And so, you know, we're going to fucking keep going for it, man.
Yeah, man.
Keep going for it. Keep hammering it. Create opportunity, right? For those in our profession, right? And the beauty of it is you are able to go direct to consumer in a way that was not available to us before as chefs, right? Like I get to directly access the guest as opposed to going through a server. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, how many times as the chef do you get to actually personally like get to know the people at the table? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, as much as you would like to, or maybe if you don't want to or whatever, but
that's one of the best things about the Charter Oak.
Yeah, the way that restaurant is set up.
Is getting to talk to everybody and,
yep.
and being able to make them feel at home and make them feel loved and
yep.
like somebody cares for them. You know what I mean?
Which is hospitality.
Yeah.
I mean, that is hospitality. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, you know, over here at Truffle Shuffle, we're doing live cooking experiences, right?
Get on it, baby.
Fucking get on it. Every Sunday.
See my impression of a broiler
hit
every
up
Sunday.
TruffleShuffleSF.com.
There you go.
Right, you got to check out those live cooking experiences.
Plug it in.
You know, but with that too, it's like, we're able to cook with kids. We're able to cook with, I do it for the kids, man, honestly, because the kids and seeing like, how excited they are. Because right now it's a fucking weird time, right?
Yeah.
Like, especially with COVID, you can't hang out with people. Your social bubbles are restricted. You can't see your family that much. Like, I mean, kids are doing school. I mean, Latoya is a fucking, you know, elementary school teacher. Like, kids are doing school on Zoom. Yeah, so I mean, kids are doing school on Zoom. You know what I mean? Which, I gotta say, if I was a fucking kid,
I wouldn't be able to do it.
It would be completely
failing.
failing.
I'd be a dumbass motherfucker, man.
Right, just be playing video games for an entire school year. You know what I mean? And like, but right, like if I can contribute to my industry in the way where if I can contribute to the kids and give some of them some cooking knowledge that I've gotten along the way, I consider that success, you know?
Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, it's the same for me. It's like, fuck me and my success. It's
right.
like, it's about all the people that learned from you
right.
and see how far they go And that is really your success.
Right.
You know? And that's what's so amazing about being a chef and being in this industry is like, it's like years of legacy.
Exactly.
You know, years and years and years of legacy. And like, you know, we share it with a lot of other industries in the world. And one that's close to the mentality of a chef is sports.
Exactly.
You know, the greatest sports, the greatest athletes, like LeBron James.
Right.
You know, I always tell my cooks, I say, do you think LeBron James goes back to the locker room and says, I shot 32 points. I did a great job.
Right.
No, he goes, I should have shot 36.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
Like just always expecting more from yourself.
Yeah, I mean, you watch that Michael Jordan fucking series. Man.
Amazing.
Like, I look like that.
Amazing.
Hits home
exactly.
hard. Like, dude,
it's like literally like working in a 3-star kitchen.
Yo,
like that's exactly what it's like.
Right, and it's like,
yeah.
like you're never looking at your successes. Yeah. You're always looking at where you can do better.
And it's not personal.
It's
That's
not personal.
One of the things that people like misconstrue. It's like, oh well, why are they doing that, or why are they being angry? It's like they're not being upset or angry or you know manifesting negative energy towards you because they don't like you or they don't want you to succeed. Mm-hmm. They care about their craft. You are the person that is going to carry the craft forward after they're gone.
Right.
So they have to put all of their energy into making sure that you don't do that dumbass shit that you were doing.
Fact.
Because it's like, whenever I do some dumb shit, I have Jake Rojas in my head being like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, fuck you.
You know, you're like, okay, no.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And then after a while, it's you.
Exactly.
Who takes over that voice.
Right.
And that's like, I think when you know, like, oh shit, like I'm like becoming a chef.
Impact.
You know? Yeah. So it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool.
Totally.
So Tyler, I want to thank you for doing this podcast with
Hell
me.
Yes.
The first one ever.
Fucking
first episode of Sucio Talk.
Sucio Talk Primero Uno.
Primero Uno. That's not uno is a word, primero is a word, but they don't go together like that.
All right, I fucked it up.
It's like got died. You know what I mean? That doesn't go together.
All right, so
it's okay though.
What are we saying over here?
It's okay though. We're saying that this is going to be one of the best motherfucking podcasts you ever heard in your life.
Fact.
If you get offended, just don't listen next time.
Fuck off.
Okay? Other than that, we'll see you next time.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, world. Thank you, Tyler Vorce. Thank
Peace
you, Truffle
out.
Shuffle.
Thank you, everybody.
My what is it? My sponsor, Truffle Shuffle.
Oh, yeah. You know Truffle Shuffle is sponsoring this shit. Woo! Can I say brought to you by Truffle Shuffle?
Yeah, fuck yeah. Go ahead.
Sucio Talk. Brought to you by Truffle Shuffle. 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 Truffle Shuffle.